Welcome back to the channel and to this match reaction for Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 3. Coming out the ground yesterday, I was kind of pissed. I weren't happy really, just because we had chances within that game to, at least get a point or get a win. I thought we created enough. We played really well in the sense of we created chances, which was something we haven't done for a long time. But throughout the game, I think more looking back on it, Liverpool created just as many, if not more, and they missed a lot of opportunities as well. So within that sense, I don't know. We could have got a draw, but I don't know if it was as deserved as I first thought it was leaving the ground. So this is the next day. I've had time to sit on it and think about it. Because yesterday I couldn't really comprehend what I saw. It was the first few 10, 15, we were really good. We were trying to create, we were on the front foot. But you could see straight away from the way the game was shaping, on the their left-hand side, our right-hand side, Robertson had acres of space to go forward into. Young was coming inside and Robertson just had the whole left-hand side for Liverpool, and Trent kept switching the play, kept going to Robertson, and they were just creating chances and getting to us from there. And that's something Unai spoke about within his post-match interview. He said for the first 30 minutes, what he'd instructed them within training, they weren't doing. The shape just was incorrect. And he had a word with them with 15 minutes to go in the second half. And that's where we saw it change. He mentioned that followed through for those 15 minutes, and then into the second half, at half-time when he had further word with them, the players, that followed through, and that started the second half. The first 20 minutes were all over him, and we should have got back in the game then. We should have really got back in the game then. But yeah, well, let me go back. Let me go for the first 10, 15. We played well. We were getting at them. We had chances in that. I know Liverpool took the lead. It was a great goal. The Trent Alexander-Arnold ball was ridiculous. Outside the boot, straight to Robertson. Robertson puts it across to Salah. But even in that instance, we had chances. Watkins missed one. He missed the header. Bailey missed the shot left foot across. McGinn headed one back across, which no one was in there for. So we had really gilt-edged chances. Watkins as well was offside for one where he brought it down, but he hit it straight at the keeper. And that's the thing with Watkins. He's a great player in all facets of the game, except for his finishing sometimes. It just lets him down. He underperforms his XG season upon season. He just gets into such great positions. And the one thing, it's just for me, that just bugbears me is when he's one-on-one or has a chance to shoot, he's always smacking the ball. Like, there's no composure. The one incident where we saw composure was against Manchester United away in the Cup, where he dinked the keeper, and that was brilliant. And I want to see more of that side foot finishes. We always whacks the ball, and it's not really with any accuracy. He's just hitting it. He did second half hit a shot one-on-one, but he smacked that again. He went in, but he smacked it again. So that's something I want Watkins to work on. Just taking his time, composing himself when finishing. But yeah. Apart from the chances we had, Liverpool had so many chances, and they just kept getting in behind us all the time. Nunez, again, like Watkins, couldn't finish his dinner, but he was causing Mings and Konsa problems. Even Salah was. It was weird. The game was played in 10 yards either side of the halfway line. It felt like all 20 players were in just a rectangular shape in that. And it was just both teams playing high lines. And the ball was just kept going either side. If you could get the ball over the top, because there was willing runners in Salah and Nunez on Liverpool side, and then Watkins and Bailey on our side. If you could get the ball over the top, you were just putting the other team on the back foot, and it was whether you could take your chances or not. It was really like a basketball game. The game was yesterday. Very entertaining for the neutral. It was an entertaining game for fans as well, but you want to see the chances being put away. So Liverpool just kept getting in behind us. Ashley Young, his inclusion, I think Matty Cash probably wasn't ready for it, but I don't know. But his legs just weren't there yesterday. Same with Digne at times. Digne, when he's playing front foot, is really good because his delivery's spot on. And Ashley Young's delivery was spot on yesterday as well. So one thing I can't say anything against, the chance creation crosses into the box was spot on yesterday. But when they're back to and they're going back on themselves, they're in real problems, because getting back at players like Salah and that, Digne and Ashley Young just can't cope. They were just getting in behind us all the times, and they were dangerous, and they were creating loads of chances from that. Whereas Villa, when we did the same thing, when you get in behind Trent, everyone's seen it. you can create chances because he's not that good when he's playing back to goal. When he's going forward, he's unplayable. But when he's back to goal and you make him run back, you can get in behind him, and we're causing them countless problems on their right-hand side. So again, it was hard to explain because both defensives didn't look great at all. You know, we had Olsen in goal. Now, for Olsen he's not at the level, but he made some decent saves yesterday as well. So yeah, it was a bit all over the place really in terms of defensive shape for both teams. And Liverpool had their full back line. They had Alisson in goal and they had a full back four. The starting back four, the strongest. We didn't have Emi Martinez or Matty Cash. And I think that did play into that a bit. Because at least Cash, you know, his work rate up and down is second to none. He doesn't run out of breath. Whereas his quality in the final third is can sometimes be leave a little to desire. But yeah, Liverpool first half were getting in behind us. We were getting in behind them. They had a great percentage of play, to be fair. But I felt like in the midfield, they were no better than us in terms of the midfielders. Especially the start of that second half. Bubba and Douglas Luiz took control of the game. Douglas Luiz gave the ball away a lot within the game. But he just provided that one moment of quality with the delivery for Ollie Watkins, which Watkins finished. That ball was tremendous. But Dougley, he wasn't very safe in possession when he had the ball. Same for Emi Buendia as well. I thought Emi Buendia ran his socks off in the first half especially. And, you know, Emi, he likes to try things. But in possession, he wasn't security in both those players. And second half, they kept giving the ball away. When we got on top and we got the one back, Emi and Doug just kept giving the ball away needlessly at times. There was just no possession security between those two players. And it just meant Liverpool getting the ball back and just coming straight back at us. So yeah, that was something we really missed yesterday, or we were lacking anyway, was just security and possession once we'd got the goal back, so we could just continue the onslaught. And then when they brought the substitutions on in Naby Keita and Harvey Elliott, the game dynamics changed. We lost all the momentum and they ended up getting the third. But yeah, that was one thing for me, just security and possession in the second half. We just kept giving the ball away. When for the start of the second half, they kept giving the ball away, knocking it long, and we were having possession. When we got the goal back, we just kept losing the ball for some reason. And that's something we need to learn on. The defensive shape was a bit all over the place. The high line, I don't know what Emery was trying to tell him at first. Obviously he did, because he mentioned it. He said after 30 minutes, they weren't doing what they're doing, and they finally started to do it. So whatever he told them, the defence weren't doing it, because they were just all over the place. Salah and Nunes were dragging Cons and Mings all out of position. Not to say they didn't defend good, like last-ditch blocks and stuff like that, but the positionally and intelligence for the back line was shocking. There was just no shape. There was no line at all. Defenders were getting dragged forward and back. They weren't getting put offside because one centre-back or wing or the full-back, either Young or Digne, was just playing the whole line on, and Nunes and Salah just kept getting in behind. And then another day, if Nunes was more clinical, they could have got 6 as well. Not just our chances, but their chances as well. They had plenty. So yeah, yesterday I was very disappointed when I left the ground. But I have to say there's a lot of positives. It's a chance creation for me, which is positive. We've struggled a lot from end of last season, the start of this season, to create chances, especially under Gerrard. I mean, the chance creation was really lacking. We weren't creating anything. But the game yesterday, we created a lot of chances. And the games under Emery, we've created chances. And the stats match up against other teams. Our XG isn't terrible or isn't really low in comparison to other teams. We got 1 point something XG yesterday, which is really good. You know, over 1 goal in the game, 1.3 something. I know Liverpool got more, but we had chances to score. McGinn missed chances, Bailey missed chances, and Watkins missed chances. Not just Watkins, which I've been seeing people talk about Tammy coming in as well. Tammy's just as bad for chance misses. He's statistically just as bad as Watkins for chance misses. Tammy got 25 most in the Championship. Watkins got 25 in the Championship. Tammy's got 15 in the Prem. Watkins has got 14 in the Prem. They're so similar in that instance. They're always underperform the XG, but Tammy's a lot worse. So I don't want to see Tammy coming back, to be honest. I think there's better 9s out there who are more clinical, which is what Villa need right now. So that will be interesting in the January window to see if we do get a 9. There's a few positions that I think we need to strengthen in, especially wingers and centre-back for me. Winger, centre-back and the striker. But we'll see what Emery does. And to be honest, I've been very impressed with Emery. I knew he was good, but I've been very impressed. Apart from the first half yesterday, where you could tell they were tactically naive. I think the players didn't understand what Emery was talking about. I don't think Emery was. I think he had an idea of how he wanted to play. But the high line was just catching us off guard. And once we changed our shape for the last 15 minutes and the start of the second half, we dominated Liverpool. We should have been 2-2. We should have got back into that game, which was why I was so pissed and disappointed yesterday, because we should have done. But it wasn't to be. And yeah, there's some really good positives, especially the chance of creation, which is my number one. Just finishing and security at the back. But we've shown security at the back in the previous 2 Premier League games, so that's something I don't worry about. Liverpool are a fantastic side going forward, so it was always going to be the case. Sometimes it just doesn't go for you, and yesterday was that instance. Going into Spurs, I just hope we just get at Spurs like we've got at Liverpool yesterday, and hopefully the chances go in. It will come. It will come. Statistically, they will come. It's just about, one of those days. I thought yesterday, looking back on it now and looking back at the chances, it was just one of those days. It wasn't just one player missing them. Everyone was missing. Until, a January or summer window, we can't change that. That's just what we have at our disposal. Regarding the substitutions, people were saying it was too late. I'm not of that bias, to be honest, because I thought the way we were playing and when we got the first back in the second half, the shape, we were dominating Liverpool. The change wasn't required. And even when players like Coutinho and Ings came on, it just does. It's not. They haven't got the legs for a game like Liverpool. Liverpool are all about transition and legs. That's their model. That's their game. And we just don't have the pace in our squad. And the players that do have the pace in Watkins and Bailey have to stay on the pitch. Maybe could say Coutinho for Buendia. Okay, I understand that, but Buendia's work rate to Coutinho's is just chalk and cheese. Buendia's a level above. And that's what you need against a Liverpool side. You need to match them in that aspect of the game, which we did with that team. So I can understand why the substitutions were delayed. Man of the match for me was Boubacar Kamara. He was outstanding, best player on the pitch. That spell in the start of the second half to the midway through the second half, he was all over Liverpool's midfield. They couldn't get out. Anything they tried to get out through the middle, he was intercepting, he was blocking, he was tackling, and he was just handing us possession. And that's why we had the onslaught, because he was so good at that. Boubacar Kamara, outstanding player. Still don't know how we got him, but he's absolutely outstanding. On to Spurs. I'll be doing a match preview for the Spurs game. Yeah, Villa, just keep on going. Thanks for listening. If you could like and comment, that would be much appreciated. And subscribe to the channel for more content that will be coming. Cheers.